Yeah, what's up, kings and queens? We back again. We back with our, you know, the stream that we continue on our series on deep dive with AI, where we're concentrating on all the state witnesses that have testified thus far. Before we do that, please like the live. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. I hate it when I'm breaking my, let me not be sarcastic. I hate it when I'm doing content and subscribers are not subscribing. Just subscribe. You're watching us, like just subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, and then hit that notification bell so that when I drop content like this, you are notified. Now, today I found out about this lady. She's called Kagiso Tefu. This is the lady who is a girlfriend of accused number 3, Ncube. Now, there's a couple of witnesses that I omitted to mention. In fact, I forgot about in the list of state witnesses. I think there's also a dentist who testified about Ncube's latest examination that was offered by Rata, dental examination. And then I think there's a dentist also who testified about Ntanzi's examination. Yeah, from Chabani, yeah. So we'll do those as well because they are not in the list. But today we are dealing with Kagiso Tefu, the girlfriend of Ncube, who was present when he was arrested. Now, the video took so long for me to come live because I was just, fighting with AI because it somehow believes that because she said Ncube had dreadlocks at the time, that means whatever the state witnesses were saying, the people who were in the house, it's corroborated by this evidence that she's bringing up and the photos. But I fought with it. I told it the photos were contested by Mnisi and, the other advocates regarding the fact that there was some confusion based on who Ncube was. There were some photos of that late singer Mgumeni, and there was a photo. I think photos of his late brother as well were mentioned there in court, where Mustia confuses those photos with being that of Ncube. Now, let's go to AI and see what was said by AI. I asked it to find me. In fact, I didn't even know who the girlfriend's name was. So I just asked it, who is it? Who is that girlfriend who was the girlfriend of accused number 3, who testified in the Senzomeo trial? And then it came up with this. The girlfriend of accused 3, Ncube, who testified in the Senzomeo trial, is Kagiso Tefu. She was called by the state to provide evidence regarding her relationship with Ncube, her physical appearance, in fact, his physical appearance, and circumstances surrounding his arrest in 2015. Now, key testimony details her relationship, in fact, the relationship timeline. This is what they're mentioning. Kagiso Tefu testified that she met Ncube in January 2015, and that was in Tsakani. This timeline is significant because it indicates they met approximately 3 months after Senzomiwa was married in 2014. Shortly after meeting, they moved in together in a rented room in Malvern, Johannesburg. The 2015 arrest and the firearm incident. Now, Tefu described the events as the events of February 9, 2015, when police arrested Ncube for an unrelated taxi violence matter. She relayed how police searched their room and discovered a firearm on top of a wardrobe. Crucially, Tefu testified that she told police she knew nothing about the gun and that Ncube reportedly told officers, "Leave her alone, she doesn't know anything," effectively taking ownership of the weapon. Corroboration of identity. A vital part of her testimony was her confirmation that Ncube had dreadlocks at the time they lived together in 2015. This description aligns with the testimony from witnesses inside the Kumalo house on the night of the murder who described intruder carrying the gun as having dreadlocks. It's fine. That's what they're saying. This is what AI seem to be believing now. Let's see. Significance to the trial. Linked to the murder weapon. The firearm seized during 2015 arrest described by Tefu is the same weapon that ballistic experts have linked to the bullet fragment found at Miwa crime scene. Now, this one, I don't want to get too much into this firearm issue because it's a very contentious issue. Whether this is true what AI is saying here, because we know there are problems with the state ballistics expert Captain Mangena. In fact, I don't know, is it Colonel Mangena now? I don't know. Yeah. There's a problem with his evidence. There's a problem with how he managed the gun. There's a problem with how he accessed the gun. And there's a problem with how he was assigned the gun. There's a problem with the recording of that process of testing the gun. Hence, he was forced to go seek opinion of other two expert witnesses from the state. The other one being Sereo, who came to testify on behalf of Mangena. So, we will get deeper into that when we come to Mangena. We'll get into the gun issue. For now, let's just concentrate on this and this physical description. Her confirmation of his hairstyle supports the state's identification evidence, countering defense claim of mistaken identity. Now, this is also a problem. This is what I was fighting with AI for, because it is its last sentence. That's its last sentence on that summary. Now, when I go back to, you see, there's like more than 3 chats that I had with it, where I'm not getting the gist of the matter because it doesn't get the gist as well. It seems to be leaving some other evidence out. This is what I said to it. The dreadlocks that Ncube had were not the same length. This was displayed by the confusion of some of the state's witnesses who confused Ncube with his older brother and the late singer Ncube. Now, it comes back and say, who was the girlfriend of accused number 3? So we see Ncube. The girlfriend of accused number 3 testified it was Kagiso Tefu. Now it's just repeating there, and then I just want to go to the brother and the late singer confusion, right? The user's query highlights a specific area of contention regarding Ncube's identity and the length of his dreadlocks. During the trial, a major dispute arose involving photographic evidence. The deceased's brother, the defense led by Advocate Charles Nisi, argued that certain photos the state claimed were of Ncube, specifically one showing a man with a gold tooth, were actually of Ncube's deceased elder brother. Witness confusion. The defense suggests that the state witnesses were confusing Ncube with this late brother due to their strong physical resemblance. The state witness, Sergeant Moses Mabaza, insisted that the person in the photos was Ncube, stating they look alike. You can see that they are brothers. Just listen to that. They look alike. You can see that they're brothers. Like, just simply admitting to his mistakes without admitting, in a foolish way, to say the least, because you was just claiming that this is Ncube. Now, the dreadlock length. Defense used this broader argument to challenge the reliability of the identification, pointing out discrepancies in features like the length of the dreadlocks and the presence of the gold tooth to prove the witness was mistaken. I further went deeper with AI because I just wanted to know. Now, since the state alleges suspect 2, in fact suspect 1, I just wanted to say suspect 1 dreadlocks were shorter than Ncube. Actually, longer dreadlocks is her evidence supporting the state. Now, this is what it says. The evidence presented in the trial regarding the length of the dreadlocks supports the state's case, but the defense has introduced a specific counter-narrative involving mistaken identity to challenge it. It is important to firstly clarify a likely confusion in your crew. Yeah, I know that one. I spoke about it. I was talking about accused number 1. Does the evidence support the state? Yes, that's what it says. The photographic evidence aligns with the witness descriptions. But this is a problem as well, because we know, like, I'll add it later. I want to add another, quagmire to bring the situation to a quagmire. Another, spanner, throw a spanner into the works, right? If you add what was said in the official police identities, that all the suspects had dreadlocks. Are you aware of that? This is what was said? This was what was said. I just want to show you something. Let's just go to, the identities. Just want to show you something. Like the witnesses were look at that. Just look at that. Look at this description that is put there on both suspects. Now you realize that the state witnesses were confused, to say the least. Let's go back to discussing this. Now, if they say the witness, that the photographic evidence aligns with the witness's descriptions, I don't agree based on now what I added. The identikits were initially, when they started everything, these people in the house said, when they were describing to the lady who was throwing the identikits, that all the people had dreadlocks. You see, now they're trying to just stick to one guy having dreadlocks. And also another thing that add mixture to the quandary is the complexion issue. That complexion, I just want to run straight to the complexion issue, where Zandi was questioned about it. Zandile Khumalo, right? She was questioned about that, the complexion issue, and then she failed to come to a proper, to convince us. In fact, let me just simply put it there, to convince us why she believes that the complexion now should be now the light person. The light person that we're seeing in the dog should be a person that we now concentrate on, when in the first place she said the person was dark. The contradiction. The complexion problem, light versus dark. You are correct that the complexion issue poses a significant challenge to the state's case. The defense has aggressively used this discrepancy to argue the mistaken identity. Contradiction. Ncube, accused number 3, is notably light-skinned, often described as yellow bone in local terms. Initial statements. In their original police statements taken shortly after the murder in 2014, key witnesses like Zandile Khumalo described the gunman as having a dark complexion. Court testimony. When confronted with this in court, Zandile tried to reconcile the difference by stating that the intruder was darker than her, but maybe not dark, or attributing the discrepancy to the lighting in the house. You see how they do it? Try to squeeze out of it now. Defense argument. Advocate Charles Munisi argued that this is a fundamental flaw. If the gunman was truly dark-skinned, it could not have been Ncube. The defense posits that Witnesses are tailoring their current testimony to fit the accused in the dock rather than recalling their original observations. Also, the DNA on the head that was claimed to have been worn by Ncube doesn't include him. Adding weight to your skepticism is the forensic evidence regarding the head itself. DNA exclusion. A forensic expert testified that DNA found on the Scotch head, which was left at the scene by the gunman, did not match Ncube or any other accused. Implication. This physical evidence directly contradicts the visual identification, supporting the possibility that the dreadlocked person seen by the witnesses might not be Ncube. Yeah, like I wanted to pose this question. Let's see it work together. I want to see if it will bring up something. You see, also take into consideration that what was described in the official police identity, right? That both suspects had dreadlocks. And then that they both had gold tooth inserts. Let's see what it says now. I'm just going to throw a spanner into the works. I want to see what it tells me now, because this is evidentiary info. This is info, objective evidence that is there. We're not grabbing this out of thin air. It's there. Like, these people said these things, that these guys both had dreadlocks. They both had gold tooth insert. It's there on the identikit. So I don't know if AI will tell me something else. We'll try to squeeze out of it as well. But I think it will be honest with me. Let's see. Let me just go a little bit down. All right, I have to read the whole thing because I'm just seeing it for the first time with you. You raised a critical point regarding the original police identikits released in October 2014. Analyzing these official documents against the current accused reveals significant contradiction that defense has utilized. To answer your specific query, yes, the official 2014 description stated that both suspects had dreadlocks, but they did not state that both had gold teeth. Let me see. Am I the not one? Am I the not one? It says so, man. It is saying so. Here it is: teeth, gold in upper teeth, teeth, gold in upper teeth. What? AI. You think I don't know my facts? Just gotta be kidding me. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, AI is not here. I'm the correct one. It did state that they both had gold teeth. I'm gonna disagree with AI on that. They both had dreadlocks claim. State as true. The official police statement released alongside the identikit in 2014, compiled with the help from witnesses like Heli Kumalo, explicitly described both intruders as having dreadlocks. Now you see this. Suspect A, the gunman linked to the accused. Now, this is what, before I go to suspect A, this is what is confusing to me. Now, if they were saying that in 2014, what happened to that story now? From Toko to Melo and Zandile Kuma, I think they were on the witness box, but they never mentioned that the second guy had dreadlocks. What did they learn? Yeah, they learned later that the suspects that are on the dock, only one had dreadlocks. So we have to stick to that one only. Forget about the other dreadlocks. That's what happened. Suspect A. The gunman linked to the accused. Accused described as a slender, wearing a Scotch hat, having dreadlocks. Nah, listen. Let me just read it from the official police identikit. This is what they wrote there. This suspect entered the house. This is suspect 1. The one with dreadlocks who was not wearing a hoodie. I think this one was probably wearing a hat. He asked for cell phones and money. He was armed with a revolver, and was aggressive. A revolver, just mark that with a revolver. In the original identikit, African male, plus 25 to 29 years. He's like 1.68 meters tall, and then slender build, dark brown, shiny complexion. Clothing, he was wearing a brown jacket with a woolen collar and a hat with a check pattern. Yeah, this one is the one who was wearing the hat. You see, teeth, gold in the upper teeth. And here, you have to be aware, here they don't even say on which side. Hairstyle, dreadlock. Right? Now, suspect. Now, just look under the photo what is said there. This suspect was standing outside the gate. You see the confusion there in the state's case. Like this is just a fabrication. Like you can see it, man. Like nothing gels together. I mean, if you're searching this thing from behind like this, it should just come up with positives. Positive, yeah. This information was said like this. Yeah, it was there like that in the original one. But no, not here. Let's go. African male, plus 25 years, and then 1.8 meters tall, slender build, medium brown complexion, clothing, black hooded top, teeth, gold in the upper teeth. That's the reason they took Ntanzi to what? The dentist. Why? To check for the gold in the upper teeth. Hairstyle, dreadlocks. That's why they were asking questions if Ntanzi had dreadlocks in their village. And the people who knew him. You heard about that? Facial hair, beard and mustache. You know what? It's very clear that the state people are just gripping on straws, man. Wow. They are gripping on straws. Now, let's go to the problem for the states. This presents a major challenge for the prosecution regarding accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi. While the state has produced photos of accused 3, Ncube, with dreadlocks fitting suspect A, there has been no credible evidence presented that accused 2 ever had dreadlocks. Yes, Ntanzi is a suspect. Witness claims to have been pinned against the wall. If the original witness saw 2 men with dreadlocks, Ntanzi's lack of dreadlocks, and the defense argument that he was a clean-shaven or had a different style creates a significant identity mismatch. They both had gold-tooth claim status. No. I'm not gonna read this one. I've already went through this. AI is streaming here. It's just hallucinating. It's just giving me stuff that, and I told you not to give me stuff that it did not verify. I don't know why it's doing this. Anyway, trial implications. This distinction became a battleground in court. Accused 3 underwent a dental exam during the trial. The results were inconclusive. The dentist saw a marginal preparation. I think this dentist was just he was just bored, man. Nah, man, you can't come and tell. If you're a dentist, you know what that marginal preparation was for. But no current gold inlay. Accused number 2 was also examined by dentist Dr. Thomas Tlokwe, who testified that Ntanzi never had a gold tooth and had no signs of dental work. This aligns with This no, it doesn't align with the identity. It doesn't, because the identity says both had gold tooth. Bro, what are you saying? So that's the reason why they took Ntanzi to the dentist. So the conclusion, I'm just gonna go through conclusion. The fact that both suspects were originally described with dreadlocks is a detail that potentially exonerate accused two. Ntanzi, as the state had struggled to prove he ever wore that style. Yeah, I'm gonna end there because it goes on dreaming about this go-to thing. I know you saw. I think I saw you. I showed you that the official police identity claimed that both suspects had go-to. Anyway, guys, I didn't want to take too much of your time. Please like the live. Check out our playlist on this one. It's just called Deep Dive with AI on my channel, and then you'll be able to see all of these videos. The series is a playlist playing starting from the first one until the current one, and we'll continue adding on top of that. Next, we're coming with our next state witness. We'll be seeing if we have covered all the civilian witnesses, and then we get into the, if we've covered all the civilian witnesses, we'll probably get into the police. Sorry, I just dropped my phone. We'll cover the police witnesses, the who were testifying for the state. With Jonathan, Mapumule, and what, all those guys. And until the next one, guys. So please like the live, hit that notification bell. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and that notification bell so that they tell you that we've dropped something. Peace. Till the next one. We are.